Hi guys, this is Jeanne Holden, producer of the show, and I just wanted to take a minute to let you know where you can find us on the internet. Please go to ThatMan on Fatman.com. There you can find out all the things you need to know about the show. You'll be able to find links to the podcast, to YouTube, to Twitter, Facebook, even Instagram and Snapchat. Thank you so much for listening, guys, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Today's show is brought to you by Death Wish Coffee. Death Wish Coffee, the strongest coffee in the world.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and I want to urge you to make a generous donation to the Wayne Foundation so we can stop the sexual trafficking of children. Do it, or I'll find you.
And don't forget to check out our good friend of the show, Mark Live, over at chundertunes.com for all your podcast animation needs. ThatMan on Fatman is recorded with a Zoom H6 handy recorder. Zoom for creators.
Disclaimer. The show you're about to experience is for entertainment purposes only. The hosts use mature language and conversation just like in most of life. If you're too uptight, this might not be for you. All that said, we really do hope you enjoy the show. But if you don't enjoy it, expect a nice big shipment of my joyous Joker juice on your doorstep in the very near future. Toodles!
As the world's biggest Kevin Smith fan, I appreciate the fact that somebody finally made a podcast about that interesting motherfucker. So, yes, you absolutely did the right thing. It was smart. I appreciate it. I think you were right to do that.
Okay, what has two thumbs and is a huge fan of Kevin Smith? ThatMan!
Yes, I am that man. The juggernaut of a podcast.
We need a costumed vigilante is what we need. Justice can't be served unless it's being fought outside the system.
Here's what we're going to do, eh?
Oh, shit. It's that man. Who is he? He's that man. He's talking. Go get him, that man.
Well, once upon a time, a regular man read a book written by the Fat Man. Tough shit, written by old Kev Smith. Kev said go out and start a podcast, and so I did, and I had a real blast. But my obsession was driving my co-host nuts. Didn't want to bring the podcast down. Needed Porkchop Murphy to hang around. So I created a new show with one heck of a plan, and I'd call that show ThatMan on Fatman, because we're going to chat about Kevin Smith. That's right, let's talk about old Kev Smith.
Yes, please note that use of all sound effects is done ironically.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to this episode 4-1 of ThatMan on Fatman. I don't know if you guys missed this, but we sure missed doing the show. And with me here in the studio for this, I mean, there's so much to cover, so much has happened, a lot to catch up on, but first of all is our co-host extraordinaire, producer, all that good stuff, none other than Jeanne Holden.
Hi guys, I missed you.
And there you have it. There
my sweet peeps.
Yep. So here we are. We're back. Where can we start? Let's see. Well, let's keep it simple. I had an accident, hurt my face, and lost some teeth. Mm-hmm. So that's kept me out of action for a while. And so now we're kind of feeling better and on the mend, and I'm back at it again.
Feeling better, yeah.
Yes. So
it doesn't happen. You don't just snap your fingers and it happens.
No, it's a fucking long, painful, arduous process.
It takes a lot of love and
money.
TLC.
and money.
And
Lots money. It's expensive process.
Yeah, make that paper, guys.
And on top of that, my old mic busted, so I'm using a new one now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice little upgrade. But anyway.
So you got to make that paper to pay them bills.
Indeed, indeed. So we're back. We didn't want to be gone. It was, it's been more out of, let's face it, my vanity.
It was a necessity.
Yes.
But we're back, though.
Yes. So this, we didn't get many. We got like 37 or 38 shows in our last season. After having had 55 and 53 or some other crap a couple seasons before. So we celebrated our third birthday, the show did, on the 18th.
The 18th of February, yep.
So that means that anything from henceforward is season 4.
Yeah. I'm just
so weird, even though it's our third birthday. It's speaking of birthdays, that also means that Smodcast is celebrating
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, the 6th of February.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that crazy?
We should probably jump into the sped lines because there is a lot to cover.
Yeah,
so.
I have a whole bunch of stuff.
All right. Well, hang on. Without any further ado, here is the sped lines. Hang on. Now I have to... You know what? Go to town. We're going to miss the bumper this week for this particular bit.
Hi, guys. This is the Smed Lines that we have quite a few things to talk about. Now, the latest, kind of greatest. Is everybody excited about the news about the new movie?
What new movie? What is it that you are talking about? I have no idea. Please.
Okay. So, Smodcast, the latest Smodcast... Rebooch to the Nooch. If you listen to it, you'll hear all about the new Jay and Silent Bob movie that will be coming out.
Yay! This is very good news. And
Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
I'm pretty sure that along the way, I've said at least once or twice that he should just, write another Jay and Silent Bob movie because it's all the same universe and he has access to the characters.
Yeah. Everybody was getting so excited, though, about Clerks 3 and then Mallrats 2.
So was he. If you listen to the two, it's not just that show, but if you also listen to Fatman on Batman with Marc Bernardin, he also talks about how it was a real,
oh my God,
it was a real big upset for everybody.
Yeah, it's such a downer, really.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be possible. So
yeah, apparently, and it might even be even less possible now than prior because it just feels like there was a little more bad blood, a little more money. Problems and I don't know. He didn't go into, but do yourselves a favor if you are curious, go out and listen to the latest Fatman on Batman, the latest
Smodcast is number 368,
and the latest, also the latest Hollywood Babylon. If not the latest, then the one before.
Yeah,
I forget if it's this. I think it's the week before. But there's another cool thing is they tipped their hat to us.
They did.
Yeah, right out of the gate too. He's like, I'm
so cool.
I'm a guy who there's a podcast about my podcast. So we're like, yes.
Yay.
Now if only he'd say the name.
I know. He has before though. He has during a live show. He has.
Yeah,
he said. He's been good to us.
Yes. Oh,
we love you, sir.
God, yes.
We love you, sir.
And congratulations on
on
both 10 years and about fucking
exciting.
Yeah, about
Jay and Silent
Bob rebooted.
Reboot.
Yeah.
And now Kevin is going to be writing, directing, and be also.
What's a Wookiee? What is this Drake? What's a Storm? What now? Trooper? What's this, Brace?
I hit the wrong one, but that was still good. This is what I wanted to hit.
Time to kick back, drink some beers, and smoke some weed.
So
there we go.
Kevin is writing, directing, and he's also the executive producer on a new BBC America program, Sam and Twitch, which are a part of the Spawn comic books.
I think they're the little
Todd
imps.
McFarlane. Yeah, they're like the cop, cops or.
They're his little imps.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
So isn't that cool though?
Yeah, that's very cool.
Awesome. that's really, really awesome.
He's also directing. Let's see, Terry Hatcher.
He is
Oh,
directing.
that's Jay. Jerry is directing
Yeah.
Terry Hatcher.
But Kevin
Terry
is
Hatcher
directing
is
Linda Carter.
Yes.
And Supergirl, his next episode, which will be like the end of the season. That was a part of the that was a part of the.
Question, sir.
too.
If you listen to this show and feel like addressing it out in the ether, what's up? What is going on with the third and final installment to the Canadian trilogy? Are we still going to get
Moose Jaws?
Moose Jaws?
Oh my God, yes.
Which also has Jay and Silent Bob in it.
Yeah,
so.
but wasn't See, that's why I got confused because I thought one of them was supposed to die, in one of them.
Well, yeah, because they're playing the Brody character, kind of. So, yeah, who knows? But they could die in that universe and be alive in another universe. I mean, it is what it is.
I know.
You can do whatever you want with your character. It doesn't have to be set in stone. It's silly stuff.
So, are you guys watching Comic Book Men out there?
I'm sure they are.
So it started on February 12th.
Yes.
With Ralph Macchio.
Yes.
The Karate Kid. It's an awesome episode. So every Sunday before Walking Dead.
Jon Stewart
or is it after
walked
Walking
into
Dead?
the
Is
to
it
the
after
stash
Walking Dead?
in the last several months.
Yes, Jon Stewart. How cool
Now, I don't
is
think
that?
he's going to be on Comic Book Men because they weren't filming at the time.
No.
But I just remember him walking in and tweeting out. So that's always a
That's
cool
cool. It's really cool. Now, is Comic Book Men on after Walking Dead or before? I can't remember. I think it's
Comic Book Men's on after.
It's
after the Walking and Talking Dead.
After the Walking and Talking Dead.
Yeah, like 5:30 in the morning or something insane.
Wow, that's really.
It's on right before you get up.
And also another podcast. Have you heard about Kevin and Andy's?
That's not a podcast technically.
It's
more of a video cast.
It's a video cooking show.
Or a vidcast.
Wake and Bake. Now it's
with
actually,
Kevin and Andy, and it's sponsored by. It's a sponsored show.
Right.
By the guys over at
the Daily
Loot
Crate. Well,
is it Loot Crate or Daily Crate?
It's the Daily Crate, Wake and Bake, Kevin and Andy. And the second episode they made choco pancakes. Yeah.
Now, is it with Loot Crate or is it with that other?
I think it's the Daily Crate. I think that's what it was called.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
Pretty sure.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's
guy's
pretty cool
busy.
though, right?
He's also, just off the top of my head, you'll hear Marc Bernardin and I will talk about this. He also appears in the latest Call of Duty game.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he's like a zombie Kev or something. I don't even know if he's good, bad, or indifferent. But
I think I remember him talking about that.
He's in there.
There's
a lot. He's got a shit ton of stuff going on. Even though he's seems to be bummed out. Even because of the Clerks thing, as he should be, but
but he just did like the IMDb and Sundance. He's doing all those interviews for them.
Yeah. He's
doing great.
Yes, you know who we got to interview?
Who?
Anne Heche.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, but he didn't ask her.
Oh,
he didn't ask her. No balls in the end.
Oh,
I could see that. He's too polite. He's too
know.
nice.
He is very sweet, but I just there's a part of you that just wants to be able to ask him.
Now, a couple things. The reason why originally we were going to put this out on, the day, the 18th, but we just had a couple things we needed to stall on. Some equipment needed to come in, blah, blah, blah. But, so we're releasing it a couple days later. However, the thing that stinks about that is I did have an exclusive because we had Marc Bernardin on this episode. He's our guest, which we lined up special for this show. And I had his exclusive his review for Lego Batman. However, since then they've dropped their interview featuring Lego Batman. Are we done with Smedlines yet?
Yeah, it's pretty much that was the last thing.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's the Smedlines for today. I'm sorry, I don't have a Smedlines video cue, so I'm not going to mess around with the audio cue right now. So. D. All right, I'm going to go back to our two-shot.
Okay, there we go.
All right. Okay, so I guess, should we go on to the Marc Bernardin?
Yeah.
I feel like we still have so much to cover, but for me,
I
feel like getting over, our big hump is just getting the show back on again.
Right.
So forgive us if we're not, either A, over aggrandizing our anniversary this year. We're kind of keeping it simple for us at this point. Getting the show back up and running is enough.
Mm-hmm.
So look for that.
And how sweet and wonderful and thoughtful for that Marc Bernardin came on.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Thank you,
and he
sir.
was very nice. And
Yes,
like
and
I
I
went
know he's
back and
busy.
looked. I said, well, gee, when was the last time? Oh, that's the other thing I want to say. So during this interview, I also talk about his jobs. And I lost track of which paper he's at. I get him confused.
Because he was at the Hollywood Reporter.
And then LA Times.
The Playboy.
Yeah, and Playboy in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But so I was out of joint. But he also announced on the show, but he didn't announce on our show. He announced on Fatman on Batman that he has a new job writing for a TV show.
That's exciting.
So if you go back and listen, there may be, I now realize it, there was a little bit of excitement and anticipation in his voice when we started talking about this, but he doesn't spill the beans. So
now, does he give off a hint? Like, did you talk about something that might have given off?
Well, we were keeping track of his employment. So yeah, like we were focusing right in on
so
like
that's
yeah, it's sort of a history of what he did.
So he was pretty much like right in like
he could have bursted and told us, but he didn't.
No,
so that makes sense. But he did
let
give
it go on his own show.
Yeah, it's still a great interview. We still talk a lot about other geek stuff, like why the show changed, because that was it. I'm like, I realized, wow, it was almost 2 years since we had him on. So
yeah, I can't believe it was
like,
that
wow,
long.
yeah. Well, it's this Trump time that we're all on Trump time.
I don't even know how to explain Trump time.
Well,
it's just like really fucked up.
Yes. Every day feels like an agony, but is over in a blink.
God, I feel like
every day feels like it lasts 100 years, but then also feels like it's over.
And then you wake
quickly.
up, and then you have to start all over again.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in like a just an unhappy world. I don't know. It's sad.
Well, he pivoted today, so we'll see what happps. I mean, the leopard has probably changed his spots.
Yeah.
Forever now.
He's taking his meds again.
Don't even get me started on that kind of shit. All right. Well, folks, I hope you enjoy it. If you're listening, on the good old-fashioned podcast, the old-fashioned audio method, then, you're familiar. But you may want to go over and check out the YouTube version of this show, because we did add some bonuses on that side in lieu of, for the birthday show, and we hope to keep this kind of pattern going.
Do we add like balloons and confetti and stuff?
Well, since Cameron and I have resurrected Bone Crushing Juggernaut.
Oh, that's right.
Inconsistent as though it may be.
Yeah, but that's what it's always been.
Yeah, and that's also because he's a teenager, and I've had these health issues, and da-da-da-da-da. So, yeah, there's been stops and starts and that kind of shit. Yeah. But, yeah, I've been getting more video, so why not bring that into this end, too? Because it's becoming routine, so no reason not to routinely video our shows.
Right.
So, and with that in mind, we will now cut over to Marc Bernardin, I did this interview on Monday, so
yes, our distinguished guest.
Yeah, about a week ago at this point. So here we go, Marc Bernardin from Fatman on Batman with his co-host Kevin Smith.
And now, here's our guest.
And at this point, joining me on the show from back 2 years ago was the last time we heard his dulcet tones, and so much of the world has changed. So much of the very show that he co-hosts has changed. Well, without any further ado, here is the one, the only, Marc Bernardin, joining us from the show Fatman on Batman.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Or wherever it is, wherever you are.
Yeah, it's the afternoon for me, but it doesn't matter because this won't drop until the 18th, which is our show's 4th anniversary, I think. Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So
fancy.
Yes, and you have an honored slot, sir.
I will happily take it and march with honor with it.
So, first of all, the last time I spoke to you, there was something called the Nightly Show. Do you remember?
Was there?
Do you remember that show with Larry Wilmore?
I do, yeah.
And I remember I was plugging that you had to go. I was pushing you. I said you had to go on it, and then I had the opportunity to go on and be an audience member. I got to ask a question, and so he picked me, and the truth was I sounded like a total psychopath to him because I'm like, this guy Marc Bernardin, blah 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 blah, and he was like, what are you I'm hitting him with Fatman on Batman and Blurred and all this stuff, and so needless to say, it didn't work.
Yeah, that's all great. Somebody find security because this guy's a little questionable.
Yeah, I'm sure I came off a little like that, a little too enthusiastic.
No such thing.
Yes. However, let's talk about how the show has changed since 2015. You guys have gone video. You went and you got kevinsmith.com or, it is kevinsmith.com or on YouTube. It's the YouTube channel. It's Kevin Smith.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, it's with every new iteration of the show, it ultimately comes out of Kevin saying, hey, do you mind if we do this? And I'd say, no, dude, it's your show. Whatever you want to do. It's like, you want to put cameras in here? Great. You want to get a studio? Okay. You want to put it up on YouTube? Fine. You want to do live shows? Yeah, okay, I'm cool.
So you're just like, whatever, I'm all good.
I am very much like Han Solo is piloting the ship, and I'm just sitting there switching dials and moving levers.
You're very happy.
Occasional approval.
Are you a Chewie or are you a Nine-Num?
Oh, no, I'm a Chewie on this one.
Okay.
I'm a Chewie on this one.
So you don't feel like you feel like more like a guy in a suit than a hand puppet.
If I have to choose, I'm gonna choose a guy in the suit.
Yeah, nobody wants to be the hand puppet. That means Kevin's got his hand up the old. So what initiated, though, the big change to go to video? Because Kevin has always been resistant to that in terms of podcast. Like, what finally pushed him over the cliff?
I think he just sort of took a look at the landscape and seeing both what was existing on, podcast form, audio only, and then seeing what the web version of it was like, what the YouTube version of it was like. And there were a lot of people out there doing sort of nerd stuff and even like daily shows, nerd stuff. Weren't too long, like 10, 15-minute episodes.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? We could totally do this on video and would also work for audio. I mean, it doesn't quite have the same, intimate Kev is getting stoned and I am secondhand inhaling, talking for hours about, ephemera. But, I still think that, especially once I got used to the camera, it still has a little bit of that old charm to it. And, I think he just looked at it and was like, you know what? I think there's a space for us here. And I think there's a way to pull in a new audience, a different audience, and add it to the old audience, and then everybody gets to win.
Yeah, and it also, it makes sense. It distinguishes that show from all the other shows where Kevin geeks out on a lot of stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So it gives it its own flavor. It's funny because Jeanne and I were talking, and I'm sorry she couldn't be here, but one of us has to do something else. But she was like, I was kind of talking about the evolution of your show because last night I threw on, what was it? I threw on Batman Forever, and then I lined up your monologue there or your commentary, and relived that little gem in preparation for today. And she was like, well, do you like the way the show has changed in that it's not as intimate? Or I said, ultimately, as a podcaster, I said, it's Kevin's show. So whatever's going to make him show up to do it is how I like the show. So, yeah, exactly. And if this is what is floating his boat, then awesome. And I get when you have a guest-driven show how that could be a bit of a drag because you are dependent on guests. So the way you guys do it now, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean it's and it's funny like we've had a couple of guests on both on the video version and the audio version.
You've had some killer ones.
We've had some pretty strong guests, and it's always a little bit weird with guests, only because like the 3-person interview dynamic is different than a 2-person interview dynamic. Like it's rare that you have 3 people all having the same conversation at once, where one person is clearly the focus of it, and the other two people are just battering that dude with questions.
Yeah, someone has to drive the conversation.
Somebody has to drive the conversation, and then the other person gets to be like the Ed McMahon, just occasionally shouting in something interesting from the corner.
Yes.
And I'm always super conscious of the fact that, for people who come to the show, they're coming for Kevin. Like he is absolutely the star of this thing, and I'm his, wacky sidekick buddy.
Yeah, but as your wacky sidekick buddy, you're sort of a muse. Most of Kevin's sidekicks are his muse. They bring out something in Kevin. Each one of you brings out, like, you definitely bring out that curious writer in him more than any other. Well, Andy does, but it's more joke. You're definitely story structure guy,
Yeah, I mean, and I'm happy to have found sort of that slot and that role. And here's a thing that I love, and here's a thing that I've spent. God, I was tallying it up the other day. I've been a professional journalist for 25 years, which it's weird to think of having done anything for 25 years in a row, let alone something you get paid for. But yeah, I mean, I've spent a long time working with writers and working with critics and working with other journalists and getting to do the writing. It's like, hey, if there's a thing that I have to add, if there's some sort of muscle memory of having to have analyzed movies and TV shows and video games and comic books for a quarter of a century, then I'm happy to deploy it as he sees fit.
So that's the other thing that has changed drastically since 2015. You went from Playboy, which, I mean, smart move to jump to Hollywood Reporter, right?
Yeah, it was Playboy, then Hollywood Reporter, and then LA Times.
Okay, so now LA Times. I forgot. I forget the transition.
Yeah, it's been a busy couple of years.
That's big shifts.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Like I was at the longest I've ever held a job was at Entertainment Weekly, and I was there for 13 years. And then when I left there, it feels as if, here's a dude who had been married for a long time.
So hang on a minute, just for a moment. Entertainment Weekly for 13 years. So were you there in like 87?
No. I got there in 96 and I left in 2009.
Okay, because I remember this one entertainment. One of these writers was saying that there was like a golden year at that place. You could do almost anything, and they were very encouraging, and that's sort of what brought They Might Be Giants to prominence.
Yeah, I mean, there was a stretch there. I mean, I think the magazine started in 91, 92. It was definitely a 90s baby. But the magazine had never made any money. Like, it was always in the red. But Time Inc. had people and had Sports Illustrated and had Time, and so they didn't care. Like, here are the giant things making us reams of money in a time when journalism and magazines was a money-making endeavor. If you want to have your tiny little pop culture magazine, that's fine. But the fact that there was never any real pressure to deliver, and yet there was always a confidence in the brand and a desire to have it remain, emboldened the editors to do whatever the hell they wanted. It's
yeah,
like
before the internet, that was like a rag I would consistently look at.
Yeah, and to think about, the circulation numbers when I was there was something like, 1.2, 1.3 million issues a week, and that was a failure.
Wow.
by the lofty comic
and now, when do they cut a comic?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's totally much like, hey, so the first issue of the X-Men, the new reboot X-Men that Jim Lee did, the art, sold like 5, 6, 7 million copies, which is unheard of today.
That's amazing.
Nothing sells that much.
Yeah.
But back then, it's like, oh, that's noteworthy, and not, oh my God, we can buy like Luxembourg with this money.
I feel like that's how it is today with Trump, and like some beginning of the end kind of feeling is happening.
Like not realizing how like noteworthy and both apocalyptic it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like EW in those times was you could do whatever you wanted. And I remember I had this conversation with the managing editor at the time. I'd wanted to do a DVD list back when people were doing stuff like the 50 DVDs you should own. And he was like, you know what? We'll do it in January. Nobody buys issues of anything in January, so we can do whatever the hell we want.
So you created the listicle? No, I'm kidding.
Not quite. I think Times Man of the Year might have been the listicle
pretty much
progenitor. but that's sort of just the bravery of, we're going to fail anyway, so let's fail doing something interesting as opposed to doing something safe.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've sort of always sort of carried that with me.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So over at, now you're like at a real paper, you know, like almost New York Times quality here.
Yeah, I mean it's
comparable.
It was an interesting jump because I never had any ambitions of newspapers at all. Like I was always a magazine guy and then an internet guy. And so to suddenly be like, oh, wait, what? We're
I'm the LA Times.
I don't understand the newspaper part. This is so weird.
Oh, yeah, you're like every day.
Yeah, it's like, oh, wait a minute. People are reading this for like actual information.
Wow. Yeah.
Using this as a...
And just think, in 2015, you were on a sinking ship. That was like, hey, we're internet safe content now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I feel like, you know, there was a time I was a Playboy for a year and a half, and for the first year it was wonderful. It was like, hey, okay, so we got a website and people are coming to it and the traffic is strong and we're all having a good time because you're working for Playboy, so you have to go out of your way to have a bad time.
And then they took away the good time thing.
Yeah. And then it turned, and then it shifted, and then, you know, the magazine was going through a bit of a sort of rethink and reconception, one that ultimately didn't pan out, I think.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and I get the impetus. Like, hey, you know, it worked for the website. Let's take away the naked ladies, and then we can get more traffic and better advertising. But on the magazine side, it's let's take away the naked ladies, but we're not going to add anything else to it.
But that job did get you out west.
Actually, the Hollywood Reporter is what got me out west.
Okay. I got my story all out of whack.
Yeah, but the Hollywood Reporter moved me out here. Playboy, you know, both kind of got me paid better, which I will always be grateful for that.
You just couldn't bring your son to work, Day.
Yes, the best. Dad, why are there so many naked ladies on the walls?
Wow. Hey.
Well, son, because the guy who runs the company likes it that way.
Yes, exactly. Daddy's getting paid from smut.
Yeah, but no, I'm super glad that I made that little detour, and because I learned a lot and made some friends that I carry with me. But it definitely wasn't a sustainable business model.
And now at the LA Times, you're getting all the good stuff. You're getting stuff like, hey, I got to see this movie even before Kevin.
Yeah, you know, it's been fun doing the like, okay, so I'm going to go to these movie premieres now, right? And of course, I've become that douchebag who's become exhausted by movie premieres. Like, okay, so here's the thing.
I'm not going to this piece of garbage.
Yeah, like if I got to go see Captain America: Civil War, that means the movie starts at 7:30, but I got to get there at 5 because I got to go through security and metal detectors, and I got to hand them my phones, and then it's not going to start on time because all the movie stars are still on the red carpet, so I'm going to sit in this theater until like 8:30 when it finally starts, and then it's going to be 2 hours and a half, and then I got to get my phone back and back to, like, it becomes a 7-hour affair. And I realize how dickish it makes me sound to complain about going to a movie premiere because it's taking too long. But I turned into that guy.
Dude, before I forget, I need to thank you for your top 10 recommendations.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm working on a documentary about podcasting, and we're in the editing phase. And kind of feel like, you know, there's been sort of a haze, or we had kind of been adrift, you know, about what. And one of the recommendations that you made, which was the OJ doc, I dived into that, and it sort of reset what we were trying to accomplish here. I mean, obviously we're not the OJ thing, but it really made us go, oh, fuck, that makes us, I now know what we're supposed to be doing here. So your recommendation sort of like saved our creative process. So thank you for that.
My work here is done. My planet needs me. I must go.
Now, if the movie sucks, it'll be partially your fault. So,
well,
it's like a Trumpian thing there.
Take that blame.
Yeah, it's like Trump. You know, if we get attacked, it's the judge's fault.
Right. Yes, we took it to court, and now the legal system, which I don't understand why they have anything to say about anything.
You know, I kind of feel like that's my job now. That's the crazy thing. It's like watching this motherfucker. It's like somebody's got to keep an eye on this guy.
I mean, it's funny. Like, it's as much as I loathe to get overly political on too many things, but the thing that I'm finding kind of curious and hilarious is that the byproduct of Donald Trump being Donald Trump is that we're all way more informed about the way our government works than we ever had been before.
Fuck yeah.
Like suddenly there's announcements of Supreme Court nominees on primetime. C-SPAN is probably getting the best ratings it's ever gotten. The news channels, as twisted as some of them might be, are getting record viewership.
They're certainly not fake news.
People know what the emoluments clause means. Like, there's all these armchair constitutional scholars.
Dude, I have become an expert about Russia and the intelligence agency.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, that's the great part, is that suddenly people are way more engaged, even if you're on what one will at some point say the wrong side of history. But at least you're sort of like, oh, okay, I get what that does. I now know what a circuit court is. I now know what an appellate court is. I now know what,
Donald Trump is teaching America civics.
Yeah, like the worst way. Like, I got my American civics from the West Wing, but suddenly it's, oh God, you need to know this because the Republic is about to fall.
Yes, because okay, I'm just going to say it. It does feel like there's this authoritarian chill. And I just point to 3 points. It looks like they're attacking the First Amendment. And once they get that to go, all bets are off. And they're hitting it with attacking the media. They're attacking religion by attacking, Islam. And they're attacking anybody who kind of like speaks out with all these weird lawsuits and family shit and like the Ivanka thing. So it's a very sort of calculated and, to me, seems they know what they're doing. They're hitting things right where they want to. It's way too authoritarian for me. And it's very scary.
The thing that scares me the most is the redefinition of objective truth.
Oh, yeah, no shit.
Of objective truth.
You don't get more Orwellian than that.
That is a fact. It can be proven. It's been tested. It's been ratified, and here we are presenting it to the world. But for one person to be able to say, I don't believe that is true, here's what I think is true, and to have, conservatively speaking, half the country think that this guy is the gatekeeper of truth.
Yeah.
Is that's frightening.
Does anybody remember, we had to read 1984 in high school. Most of us, right? Or was it might have been middle school. This is so Orwellian. It's like, hello, is anyone awake? That's why I feel like part of my job is paying attention and making, retweeting or whatever. And I think there is a bit of that everywhere now. And people compare it to the Tea Party, but to which I yell back at the TV when I hear them say that. Yeah, but you don't see all those racist signs everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have Obama hanging from a noose and then saying it's not racist. I mean, what? Anyway, gone too far.
Yeah.
Pull it back in. Have you seen Lego Batman, sir?
I have seen Lego Batman. I've seen Lego Batman twice.
All right. I feel like I have an exclusive here. How'd you like it? I saw it yesterday, so I'm ready.
I liked it just fine. I feel like, as a movie, it's kind of fun. Yes. I mean, I know what it's doing. I know the story that it's telling. I like that it's all in. They're unifying every Batman thing as one part of the mythos. Like, it's one story.
I got hard. Great. I have to say, I got hard when they used the Bane voice from the movie. That more old English man as opposed to like the a more Latino Bane.
Yeah, no, it's like and to have Billy D. Williams as Two-Face.
Yes.
It's fantastic. I couldn't help but get this feeling about halfway through that it, ironically, is a little bit too much Batman for me.
Really? Not enough Lego?
Batman, in the first Lego movie was this amazing, like, he leavened it and was shot through with humor.
Yeah.
And that, like, you did so much with so little there. He's like an amazing spice. You're like, holy shit, is that cumin in this? Yeah, that's totally cumin. I love cumin. Didn't know how much I love cumin. I don't know if I needed 90 minutes of cumin. And so they add a bunch of stuff so that it's not just Batman, this Batman. For all of that, I still really enjoyed myself. I still, I will not say that it's the best Batman movie since The Dark Knight, which I know some people are saying, but I think it's a pretty good time out of the movies.
Dude, you should be cheering home team advantage. I mean, Batgirl alone. Come on, give it up.
No, I mean there's some super fun stuff in this movie. There's but I was just like, wow, okay, so it's a movie about family. Okay, I get it. And it's a movie about how Batman is a just narcissistic prick. Okay, yes. I get that too.
Who can fight well.
And
has a lot of money.
Yeah, and it's also like I love the first Lego movie.
Yeah, me too.
But one of the things I love about it is the sort of metaphor at the center of it. The reveal you get towards the end, the idea that yes, these are all children's play toys, and this is all the fight. The real fight that's happening is between sort of order and creativity, and not to give up on what makes creativity so wonderful, and not to give up on the childish aspects of things.
Yeah.
Writ large in this, giant, huge, blow 'em up action film.
But let me just put this out there. Maybe you and I, as fathers, are a little jaded. You know what I mean? Like maybe we hold that a little more endearing, and that's why we're judging Batman a little more harsh.
Yeah, I mean, but, I enjoyed myself seeing it.
All my kids actually have said they like the Lego movie better than the Batman movie, but they like both. So
yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this movie. I won't go out and say like, oh man, this is a piece of shit. Don't go do that. Go see 50 Shades Darker instead. That's better. Is never a sentence that I think will come out of anybody's mouth ever in the history of the world.
Yes, of course.
And I don't even know what I would have wanted out of this movie, knowing full well that it's got to be for kids, and not again that that's a reason to have a bad movie. But
I don't know, kids, but it's a family movie.
It's a family movie.
I mean, it's about families, but it really, I mean, they kind of go more for family. They really do go for all those levels, I think.
Yeah, they totally do. But like when I think back on something like The Incredibles, which for my money is still the best superhero movie ever made, which is also for families, but also gets to plumb these depths of, parenthood and responsibility and feeling useless and age, and then, being ignored by your parents, and, like all of those like super rich themes, and there's peril, and there's damage, and there's repercussions, and there's all of these sort of weighty things happening in that movie. When I look at that, and then I look at the Lego movie, the Lego Batman movie, and say, oh, well, this is just fun, and I'll give you that. But, I think there is a way to do both of those things with a Batman Lego movie.
Yeah. It kind of felt, you did give a good review of the last Star Wars, which name I cannot think of right now.
Rogue One?
Rogue One, thank you. The Batman movie felt very Rogue One-ish. It was that a lot of nods and we're paying homage to our past and to Batman and all that stuff. Which, same way with Rogue One.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and while a couple of nods here and there are super fun, once you start like, oh, hey, there's like 50 some odd Easter eggs in this movie. Hey, there's that thing and there's that thing. And there's like, once you start just cataloging the jokes that they made for people like us who will get all of them, like there's a teetering point between homage and nostalgia and then catering and pandering. And I think this movie is perilously close to that edge of tottering into
pandering.
The love.
Yeah.
The love this thing.
Yeah. It's funny. I wonder why. Do they have like a what was it? It was freaking Clash of the Titans. They had Medusa and the Kraken. Do they have a deal with Clash of the Titans? And when did that happen? And why?
I know that the rights are super weird because they have the rights to use anything that Lego has the rights to, not Warner Brothers. So that's how you get Daleks. That's how you get Krakens. That's how you get Sauron.
Okay, so you know what those little robots were.
Yes.
What were those robots? Because I'm not a Whovian, so if that's a Whovian thing, I missed it.
Totally a Whovian thing. Those are the upside down trash can galactic annihilators from Doctor Who called the Daleks.
Gotcha. I've heard the name because I have a friend who has a show, a Who show.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, so apparently we got the rights to the BBC things. Oh, that's right, because Lego has a Doctor Who set.
Which is how they got Voldemort, too.
Yeah, it's like and I love that. Like, that was one of the great things about, the first one was just being able to Avengerize the Lego universe with things you would never be able to have otherwise in the same place. It's like, holy shit, there's Superman and freaking Han Solo on screen at the same time. I don't understand this.
I wonder if they could stick Kevin in there, because Kevin was in a Lego game, right?
I know. It would not have surprised me. I mean, I didn't get to grind through the credits, but it would not surprise me if he had a 2-line bit part in there somewhere.
And he's also in another game recently.
Yeah, Call of Duty, something or other.
Yeah, like their zombie game, or that comes sort of with it when you get it. Yeah, it's not the main game.
Right, it's like the DLC.
Yeah.
Where you get to either play as Kevin or shoot Kevin in the face a lot. And apparently, he was doing a trial run because there's a VR version of it.
See, I've never been a Call of Duty fan. Those are not the games I go for.
Yeah, I don't mind them. I mean, I've always been sort of a shooter person. The problem I always have with the Call of Duty games is that the campaigns are really thin and slight.
Yeah.
Whereas the multiplayer is where all of the juice is.
Yeah, and I just get shot.
And I don't do the multiplayer because I don't want to get teabagged by 14-year-olds.
Exactly. As a guy who has a son, I've had my ass kicked way too many times. That's not fun.
Yeah. There was a time when I could do that, and that time was about 20 years ago when I also had the time to scour each and every corner and nook and cranny of those maps and figure out where the respawn points are and where the rocket launchers were hidden. And
I feel like such a jerk now because if I really want to play a game, I really have to set it at casual level if I want to invest any time in it because you got so much shit to do and it's just like I got to be invincible if I want to experience this game right now. Otherwise, it's going to take me forever.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, these things at this point are now like little baby rewards that I can plink away at for like, hey, all right, I'll play Last of Us for
pretty much
6 months.
Kevin, I think he talked about in his book how he had like shelves and shelves of DVDs for that day when I guess he became, I don't know, stranded in his house. And, when someday I same way with video games, I still get them. I may play them for a little while, but I never get to finish them anymore. It's a real struggle to find the time.
Yeah, it is at this point now just a relic of my youth. Yeah. It was like, oh, hey, there's the PlayStation 4 that I might power up once a month if it's not for Netflix or Amazon or Hulu or whatever.
Or Trump. Did you play the Telltales, the Batman? You talked about it.
I started it, but never finished it, primarily because I saw going in the investment of time that it would be.
I did 2 episodes. It's not, again, it's just, it's getting back to it. I keep meaning to.
Yeah, it's like, all right, this is pretty well done, and this feels like Batman, and that's pretty cool. But I just know, like, this is going to ask 30, 40, 50 hours of me that I just, at this point, don't have to give.
Yeah. I hear you. All right, we want to take a moment to talk about Death Wish Coffee. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, do yourself a favor and get over to deathwishcoffee.com. And there you can buy the strongest coffee known to man without a prescription.
The world's strongest coffee ever.
Yes, as proudly displayed on my wife's sweatshirt over there.
Yes, on my body, on my mug,
on
my K-cups.
Yes, and you'll know them by their telling sign of the skull and crossbones.
It's
that tells
so
you
good.
Exactly what you're in for. It's that used to be the international symbol for poison, but now it is the symbol for good damn coffee.
It's awesome. Without milk, with milk, you don't really need it because it's strong.
But not bitter?
Not bitter. So you don't even need milk. You don't even need sugar, but you can add it if you'd like. It's just really, really the perfect, strongest, most awesome coffee.
Become a junkie of Death Wish, just like the Anderson Council. And
we got him hooked.
Again, deathwishcoffee.com. Thank you very much.
Enjoy it.
I want to take this time to mention to you www.audibletrial.com/ThatMan on Fatman. That's right, www.audibletrial.com/ThatMan on Fatman. That's one word, conjunctified. Go there, sign up for your free 30-day free trial. Sign up, get a free book, a free audiobook, because you don't have to go through no tedious reading. You don't have to turn no fucking pages. You don't have to do any of that bullshit. You get in your car, you put on your headphones, and you are listening to a book. You're taking a magical journey into a fictitious land. You're expanding your mind, all when you're stuck in traffic. Fucking amazing. Audiobooks. These are the wave of the future. And you can get in for free for 30 days. A free trial. And when you get your free trial, you can download a copy of Tough Shit by our Savior, Kevin Smith. That's right. Our Lord and Savior, Kevin Smith, has left words for us to follow in our lives, and we can get it for free just by signing up to audibletrial.com/ThatMan on Fatman. That's right. audibletrial.com/ThatMan on Fatman. Thank you. Please sign up. You'll be very happy you did. So what's next for Fatman on Batman and Marc Bernardin?
Well, I think we're going to sort of keep on keeping on with the Fatman on Batman. I think we're going to do a couple more live shows this year. I'm not sure where yet, but it would not surprise me if at least one of those was Comic-Con because it's a good crowd.
Makes sense. You guys should swing East Coast.
What's up?
Swing East Coast.
And we'll get those requests all the time online. It's like, come to Australia, come to London, come to Atlanta. It's like, we would love to come everywhere. I would love to go everywhere.
Yeah, I hear you.
But somebody has to want to bring us. And
Yes.
by want to bring us, I mean pay us monies.
I understand. So well, I mean, that is always a possibility too. Now with all kinds of crowdfunding and crowdsourcing and all that kind of shit. So
yeah, totally.
So if anybody out there wanted to bring you out east, where would they go?
I think it's talk to those convention.
Get on Fatman on Batman, maybe, or go on the website.
Yeah, and just
Smodco.
hey, what would be awesome? I'd love to see these guys. And if enough people do that, then I guess they would have to pay attention. In a world where we're marching on the shit that we want, there's totally a way to get Kevin and I to come someplace with public pressure. But yeah, and then I think we are finally going to at some point this spring get back to some commentary tracks.
Oh, cool. Interesting. Are we going to do the Nolan series?
That is the hope. That is the dream. I think the thing that had always held us off on it is that because they're actually good, we would have a little bit less fun.
but then if you look at Cinema Sins, nothing is without, and you can't. Why can't you? Who's to say you can't geek out and appreciate as opposed? Although I do love how much, particularly in Batman Returns, how much like Kevin, as much as he tries, can't hide some of the vitriol. Because it's just, I get it too. It's like the Happy Meal and the pee-pee toy and all that shit is so brilliant.
Yeah,
because he really was just into the bad guys.
I mean, yeah, that's all Burton ever cared about was the monsters and could give a shit about Batman.
Are you into the classic monsters?
The classic monsters, the Frankenstein.
Yeah, the Universal monsters. Sorry.
To a certain degree, like I appreciate what they are. And some of them actually do have some real sort of totemic power. But I cannot say that I've watched very much beyond, the Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, the original Dracula.
Gotcha.
I don't think I've ever seen The Wolfman. I don't think I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen the original Mummy.
Yeah.
Those are more like perceived wisdom than actual. Like I went out and saw the thing.
Yeah,
like they're just in the world.
Although I will say this: I did have the opportunity to see at an old movie house the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, and they actually like played with a real pipe organ and shit.
That's pretty great.
That was a heavy duty thing. That was a heavy duty movie.
Yeah, those old like German expressionistic film noir things. Yeah, there was some amazing stuff that they were doing back then.
Yeah, but seeing Lon Chaney Jr. like half drunk kind of turning into the werewolf is not exactly the greatest monster experience. Makes you wonder, like, how were people really scared by this?
Yeah, I mean, it is very much one of those things where there was nothing else before.
Yeah, I guess so. It's like fire. Here you go.
Yeah.
Ah!
Like you hear those old stories of that first, or like not first, but like second or third film short of the like train coming into the station.
Yeah, people ran out of the theater. I don't know if I believe that though, because people, I believe people talk shit more than I believe people run out of theaters.
It doesn't surprise me though. Like the first exposure to a new technology.
Trump is president. You're right. I have to keep going back to that. Fuck.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, the first exposure to new technology is almost indistinguishable from magic.
Yeah.
And so if they have no contextualization for that, like, holy shit, there's a train here, or the cowboy just shooting guns at the camera. It's like, holy fuck, we're all going to die.
Yeah.
Like, I've just never seen this like before.
Yeah, I've heard that the stories of, I don't know, again, that the Native Americans didn't understand what the boats were, so they almost didn't see them.
Yeah. Like, it is always to try and put yourself in that mindset of, oh my God, I've never seen anything like it before is hard for us to do because
until the end. Although I did see that's another thing you guys kept suggesting that I saw. Arrival, was it?
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's a mind fucker.
It's a super mind fuck.
It's a fun one. I mean, I'm glad at the end you figure it all becomes known, but it is a real mind fucker.
Yeah, and it is because, it's an emotional movie. Like it's not an academic film.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm beholding it and ingesting it on a purely intellectual level. It at some point turns into this emotional journey with you and with this woman. And by the time it loops back in on itself, you are so in deep on it. You're like, oh my God, holy shit.
Yeah. It tricks you though. It tricks you, but not like an M. Night Shyamalan ding dong way, in its own way. It has its own means of trickery. Actually, like more Nolan-esque.
Yeah, like it's definitely got a bit of the Nolan vibe to it, but like it earns it. It earns it so that when it twists and when it pays off, you are happily along on the ride. Like you never resent the movie for what it does.
It's so true because then you think, because we're spoilers really quick, because we're going to be here in 3,000 years. That is like a mind fucker.
Yeah, it's like we fixed it. Like I remember,
but that's kind of good news because then you can go, at least the human race will be here in 3,000 years.
Yeah, like I remember I interviewed Damon Lindelof a few years back, and this was before Star Trek Into Darkness came out. Which think of it whatever you want to think of it.
I liked it. I liked it actually. I had a problem with obviously what's his name is an awesome actor, but that character is supposed to be a Sikh Indian. So, it's a little fucking weird that a pasty white Englishman is playing Khan. So, but other than that, I like that movie.
Yeah, I mean, I have a litany of issues with it. But one of the things that Damon said that I had never really sort of intellectualized before was the fact that Star Trek is maybe the only real positive vision of the future that pop culture's ever given us.
True.
It is one of the few utopias as opposed to dystopias.
Yeah, and that's because it comes from Wagon Train.
Yeah, it comes from Wagon Train. It comes from a dude who believed that if we could get over the pettiness of humanity, that we could figure it out.
Yeah, it's true.
He never said how we figured it out. But he's just like, there will be a problem.
Getting rid of the money thing, I'd like to figure that one out.
Yeah, just everybody gets everything that they. It's super communist.
But I guess if you have true replication technology, then And we're getting there every day with fucking printers, 3D printers now. I mean, if everyone has the ability to just make the thing they need, then, things change, I guess. Money becomes less value.
Right. I mean, of course, then you have to then get past the fact that the people who invent that technology would not just give it away.
Yeah.
Like, you still need money to buy the thing that lets you unlock everything.
But here's the real truth when you want to start thinking about mindfuckery. The transporter technology, as it's currently stands, when you go from point A to point B, you are actually not the same person. You're a copy. You're a copy and a paste.
Mm-hmm.
So it just means they smashed all your atoms to nothing and then just rebuilt you somewhere else. But it's not like... You know what I mean? Like, it's not the same you. It's just a copy. So you just hope that copy is correct.
Yeah. And it's not even a copy. It's a cut and paste.
Yeah. Oh, true. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is. It's a cut and paste. Fuck, you're even worse. I'll never forget when I was a kid. What was it? That first transporter thing in the motion picture? It's probably the only thing of any interest in that whole movie. Where, when the guy gets caught in the transporter and you just hear like roaring. I'm just like, wow, what a fucked up experience that must have been. But then you get Galaxy Quest, and it exploded.
Indeed.
Well, we've been going for about an hour now, sir, and I don't want to take up much more of your time, but I so appreciate you coming on the show and talking to us again.
No, this was fun. I'm sorry it had been so long.
No, that's all right. Quickly, is there any things that you see in geekdom? And, you know what? Really quickly. What are the chances of you being in the next Jay and Silent Bob movie, sir?
I have no idea.
Oh, I have a feeling you will. I think Kev likes to include everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I actually haven't spoken to him since he dropped the, I wrote another movie. I'm making it this summer.
He likes doing that.
He likes doing that, and I'm not sure why I decided he sounded like Foghorn Leghorn for a second there.
Because he has become a bit of a huckster of late.
Yeah, I don't know why my Kevin Smith impersonation went like Colonel Sanders and not...
Is there something you need to tell us? Is he secretly going to be the Attorney General?
We should be so lucky.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, but if
see, you guys have weed legal there now. At least you got Trump, but you got weed legal. Here we're still stuck in some quasi police state.
Yeah. Come out to the coast. We'll get together. We'll have a few laughs.
Dude, I loved it out there. I was out there filming this summer. We were out in August, and it was awesome. Awesome. We loved it. We would love to live out there easily. It's like around here, the New Jersey, New York area, but spread out and nicer.
Yeah, but more traffic though.
Yeah, but one thing we noticed, the lights are timed super long. But that's okay, because it's both ways, you know what I mean? Like here, the lights are all fucked up, fast-timed, and they never give you enough. But at least in California, there may be no left turn signals, but they give you time.
They give you time. And, you get 300 nice days a year.
Yeah, that's true, too. And now you guys don't have a drought anymore. Now
you have
give us
a year. I'm sure we'll manage to get that back.
Well, you're breaking the dam down there, which is not. It's like shit. You guys are about to have a fucking dam crash on you.
Yeah, pretty much.
But hey, it's California. What the fuck?
It's California.
You got. Did Kevin enjoy the Hollyweed sign a few weeks ago or whatever it was?
I think we all enjoyed the Hollyweed sign. I think a good instance of the old Turk 182 style massive besmirching of public works.
Now here's is the Hollywood sign normally lit or not?
I don't think it is.
I don't think so. Well, it wasn't the night we went there, and the guy who was showing us, he's like, I swear to God, it's here all the time. You could see it from here in the mall or whatever. And we're like,
yeah, it's funny. Now that you mention it, I don't know if I've ever looked for it at night. But I don't think it is.
Yeah, we found that weird. It was like, wow. And in our minds, it would be lit at night,
Yeah.
It's a big tourist
thing. I'm sure there are enough, punk vandals who would find ways to screw with those with those floodlights as well.
Oh, and having been up to the observatory, it's like now I see it in every movie. I was watching Terminator. I'm like, fuck, they're up to the observatory.
Yep.
It's very cool. Having been there was a neat experience.
Awesome. I'm glad you had that. Keep
Me
it
too.
in hip pocket, just in case.
Yes. Well, thank you, sir. Yeah, and we hope to have you again. It won't be 2 years next time.
For sure.
Jeanne will keep in touch.
Sounds good, man.
Thank you very much, sir.
You got it. Have a good one.
Take care now.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Everybody, Marc Bernardin.
Woo!
Hey, thanks.
And there you have Marc Bernardin, co-host of Fatman on Batman, where our show's namesake and inspirado.
Yeah.
In many respects.
Yep.
So I was very happy to hear that there's more commentaries coming. I've been enjoying the commentaries again lately. I don't know why. I just dig them.
Now we get to watch all of the cheesy Batman movies.
That's right, Death Wish Coffee, folks.
That is kind of a cheesy one, though, that last one we were watching. The one with Kim Basinger. Is that what the one we were watching?
No, we were watching 3.
Oh, no, it was the one with
3.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
That's one of their best. No, we weren't.
Yeah,
Yes. Okay,
that
we're
was
watching
the one
2.
we were watching.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of the best commentary, though, is for the third one, particularly because Kevin just lets loose, and they realize that Batman Forever may actually be better than Batman Returns.
Yeah.
But yeah, so more commentaries coming, probably for the Nolan stuff.
Cool.
And he was like, our only hesitation is it's too good. I'm like, well, you already heard it. I don't need to rehash.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do anything. I mean, you can praise, you can cinema sins it, you can do whatever. So I really encourage them to do it because it's just a lot of fun too. I enjoy those commentaries. They hold a warm part.
I thought they were going to do Dune, or somebody was going to do Dune.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. And I forgot to fucking mention it too. Because of the way that, just the organicness of the conversation. I couldn't hit everything. But I would love for them. He should do Dune with all the co-hosts.
Yeah, I thought he would do it with Andy, but I don't know.
With Andy, with all of them, because they're all into Dune. So
that would be cool.
The sleeper has awoken. Father! The sleeper has awoken! Waken! I don't even know if it's awaken or woken.
It's awoken.
God, how do I not have Dune stuff lying around here? I got all this other shit. Why do I not have...
What's Dune stuff? Like, what kind of stuff would that be?
It would be extremely painful for you.
It would be like that kind of stuff. Only Dune stuff.
What would be painful for me?
Taken in the ass. Actually, you know what would be?
Oh my God. Bane's big cock.
Grab him by the pussy.
There you go.
You know, I'm so proud of our president.
See, I'm so out of sorts and everything here.
I'm so proud that he's our president.
Trying to find all our...
Grab him by the pussy.
Yeah.
That's my president. I'm so proud.
Guy.
What a guy.
He's quite
what a chap.
He's quite the chap.
He's quite the chap. You know, no, I'm not happy that he's our president. I'm not. Okay?
This is terrible. This is one of the worst catastrophes in the world. All the humanity and all the best beating around. I can't talk, ladies and gentlemen.
That's the country right now.
I can't talk. I can only laugh and cry at the same time.
One of the funnier moments in the interview is when I say to Marc Bernardin, I'm like, I feel like I can't, like I gotta fucking keep my eye on this guy at all times.
No, it's true.
He might steal the fucking silverware or some shit.
You can't turn your back. I feel like he's gonna stab you in the back at any moment.
Please join me in a final prayer.
For our country.
Yoga Fett.
Yoga Fett.
Yoga Fett. Yoga Fett. Yoga Fett. Yoga Fett. Yoga Fett. And sorry, not sorry. Haters have got to hate, like the douches have to douche.
All right, so we're getting back in the mood. You can tell because I'm just playing random sounds.
But
now.
Isn't douche like one of the best words? It really
I've
is.
often found it to be wonderful, in fact. Yes, yes, indeed.
So you like we're on the same page, you and I, Bane. You and I think like the same.
Indeed, we are. Now we're in the same shot if you're watching the video.
Do you have your mask on?
I do indeed.
Are you role playing?
I have my mask on, baby. What are you wearing?
I have my...
When I come back to my place, we can Netflix and chill.
Ooh, what do you like to watch on Netflix?
Gay porn. Lots of it.
Me too!
Especially if it stars that guy Milo.
Ooh.
Especially when he was 13.
You know what? Is he... let's not even talk about that. Yeah.
What's scary
I like you too much. Milo.
What's scary is I think I've heard Bob Hawke say stories, something of the same effect. So,
no, absolutely not. Take that back.
Well, he has talked about being a young man and cruising.
I know, but that's different though. What Milo Yiannopoulos
he was saying
talking about,
like having sex with 13.
No, he was making it like a rite of passage or some sort of. It was
like
okay.
Everybody does it. It's okay. Everybody does it.
He was making it okay, but it's not.
I haven't heard the context, but
Yeah.
here's my quick feeling about the guy. I think he's a total fraud. I think he's essentially just.
He's a provocateur.
Yeah, exactly. He just wants
attention.
Exactly. So he'll do what they call sophistry, or contrarianism.
And he doesn't care if he's hated. Because
And he doesn't care if
like
he's misrepresenting gay people.
Oh my God! And disrespecting people. You're standing up there, and you're, he's so disgusting.
So you know what? Here's the thing. To me, he's like a gay Ann Coulter, or he's like stealing Ann Coulter's shtick, but doing it gay.
Yeah.
And so
he even mentioned Ann Coulter on
the fact that it's
Bill
blowing
Maher.
back up in his face. I have no problem with.
And why did Bill Maher have him on? I don't get that. That
because
was
he's kind of blowing up.
Yeah.
But
well, now
before
he's
he blew up, before he blew a 13-year-old or whatever he did, or allegedly talked about it or whatever, I don't even know.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Well, that's not good. Especially if he was an adult. Let's not talk about that because that's not good. That's young, and that's being an adult, and you shouldn't be doing that to a 13-year-old.
He's certainly not helping the LGBT community.
No, and
he's sort of like making the LGBT, making us all sort of look like buffoons.
Yeah. See, I don't think he's ever really been accepted into it, so we don't have to. It doesn't even matter. We don't have to kick him out because he never was.
From what I hear, he's not really accepted into the Breitbart news community either. So he's a man without a country.
Well, wasn't he hired by Steve Bannon?
But it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't mean that people over there like him or care about him.
It's obvious Steve Bannon has such great judgment to hire such a classy,
Politics,
guy.
You can't get out of it. You can't not talk about it. It's so damn impossible nowadays.
I know.
Well, speaking of politics, maybe it's time for a TESD groupie.
Ooh, yay. TESD groupie number 99.
Yes.
Girl 100 is next.
100 is next. But I hope you enjoy. Those of you on the YouTubes will especially enjoy this very animated version of Miss TESD groupie and her pick of the week, number 99. Here it is, folks. A coming at ya.
99.
ThatMan on Fatman presents At TESD Groupies. Tell 'em Steve, Dave. Pick of the week.
Hi, and welcome to the TSD Pick of the Week. First of all, felicidades. Happy 3rd anniversary, Scott and Jeanne. I'm sure you have enjoyed the ride so far, and I'm happy to have been a little part of it. I hope next year is full of awesomeness and great things. I'm sure of it. And what better way to celebrate it than bringing the TSD Pick number 99? And not to get mixed up, and leave the excitement of getting close to a round number, let's pick the episode that may better fit the description, as this week's pick is TSD 99, the hijacking of Smod 99. This is an episode that could be heard live, or so we thought for a while, because in classic TSD fashion, it seems that the live feed comes and goes in the beginning. But once sure they're live, the guys are ready to go. And by guys, I mean Bry, Q, and me. Because Walt is not there. The guys talk to a listener in the store, and we all meet Frank number 4, and his, let's say, a typical story and views. The guys also talk about age, and Gideon and the domain issue are brought up. Then, the guys talk about doing something special for episode 100. But that is another story. So in the meantime, I hope you re-listen to it. I hope you enjoy it, and you're all the way.
And there you have Miss Testy Groupie's Pick of the Week. Meow, meow, meow. It was in honor of Q and all that kind of stuff.
Very cute.
Playing around with stuff here and making things happen and trying to bring it into the show more and more. More new elements to add. Alrighty. Do we have anything else on the agenda? Look forward to in the next several weeks. The return of Chris Bain. We're finally, after long last, going to do our Lord of the Rings show, wherein we get a couple of... We're going to geek out about Lord of the Rings, essentially. Even though it's not a Kevin thing, so many Kevin fans are closet rings nerds that we're going to bring them out of the closet.
Their closets.
Yes, because,
Because it's not cool if you're a Kevin fan.
Well, yeah, remember in Clerks 2?
They're more Star Wars.
The horrible treatment that we got. Because
that was such a great scene, though.
The irony, here's the funny thing. Like, he makes fun of the movie because it's a walking movie.
Yeah.
So is Jay and Silent Bob.
I know.
And I bet you anything, Jay and Silent Bob reboot will be a walking movie.
A lot of walking, yeah.
Yes, so.
See?
Kevin, you're no different than Mr. Peter Jackson in his epic Lord of the Rings trilogy. And I will say that, yes, The Hobbit was very self-indulgent, but I go back to, in an era where people love to binge, 12, 13 hours on a series.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a 3-hour, three 3-hour Hobbit movies,
Right.
9-hour Hobbit?
I enjoy all the making of, too. Those are fun.
I agree. And you learn a lot.
I know, and they're so, the people are really nice, and they're like a big family. It's very sweet.
All right, folks. Well, we hope to be regular now with our podcast again, much
Yes,
like
we
with
will
our
be.
duties.
We will be. And our duties are
Our
very
regular
regular,
duties
thank
and our
God.
regular duties.
Nothing is better than a regular duty.
Yes. Why can't I have a fart sound queued up at this point? Because I just
There you
don't.
go.
I'm not that low rent.
I just did it. That was good.
Oh, well, that's...
This is terrible. This is one of the worst catastrophes in the world. All the humanity and all the fans just screaming around. I can't talk, ladies and gentlemen.
Anyway.
I can't talk.
Why
is that so funny?
I have no idea. Well, folks, it does feel good to be back. I was so missing the fact that this show was out there and cranking again.
Yeah.
And also,
And
we'll be
connecting
back
with
with
y'all.
more Tales from the Swing, our other podcast.
Our other show.
And of course, I'm keeping going with Bone Crushing Juggernaut with my buddy Cameron, which has just become a real political show. It's essentially Trump Troll show.
And thanks to everybody who's been listening, because I know you've been sending messages, and thank you. And we're definitely going to be coming back with Tales from the Swing.
Oh, huge prop to Steve the Knight too,
my
because
God, I
he's
love
been
him.
catching up on stuff, and he said he got a joke that I was like, I wonder if anyone's gonna get this.
What was the joke?
You gotta go. It's one of the Tales from the Swing jokes.
Oh, okay.
I kind of call myself Zorro the Gay Blade, or I make
Yeah.
a Zorro the Gay Blade reference, but it was just off enough that it was an obscure reference.
Okay.
And he got it.
And he got it.
Yes. And
I'm so glad that he caught up with all the shows. That's so cool.
I agree. I agree. And I agree
We
that
love Steve
I'm
the
very
Knight.
glad that my face isn't in pain anymore, and
Me too.
we'll be coming out again and doing stuff and being more public
I'm
again.
coming out. I want the world to know.
Yeah, I even had to miss a
it
surprise
should.
birthday party for Michael Joseph Consolmagno because of my face. So
Oh my God.
yeah, a lot has happened since.
Yeah. We love
last
you,
month or
Michael
so.
Joseph, Consul Magnum.
Feels like it's been forever.
And fam.
Yes. Well, sorry if this, hey, we're getting
Hey,
back
we're
in the
not
saddle.
I ain't saying sorry for nothing. This has been fun.
I feel like I need to apologize over and over again. So we're getting back in the saddle, but more will be revealed in coming weeks, and we hope you enjoy. Again, check out the YouTube side.
Yeah, that's
Check
fun.
out the video portion of the show this week, because I think you'll get a kick out of it, because we put a little extra something in there.
And plus you get to see us, and what better, right?
Yes. And so, if no one else has told you this week, and I know it's been a while since we've told it to you, I think our last show was with none other than the awesome Jeff Quigley, right?
That was a fun show, yes.
Yes.
Mr. Quigley.
Yes. Wow. So I think 37 was our last show? How ironic.
Yeah.
Or was it 38? I don't know.
No, I think it was 37.
How ironic. That's so weird. We didn't even plan it. That's good.
And it
that
just
works out well.
ended. Yeah. Now it all makes sense.
It all makes sense. It was supposed to happen this way.
It was supposed to happen.
Well, we're in season 4, so all I know is when I post the show, I got to post it as season 1. All right, folks. You are smart and good, and we will see you next week.
Yes.
Whenever, who knows when that will drop, but approximately 7 days.
Right.
Within 7 or 8 days, we will have another show out.
And it'll probably be March by then.
Yes, it may be.
Isn't that amazing? It's already March already. Spring's around the corner.
Again, this show is 3 years old now.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
It's
I
mind-blowing.
should do a, because we'll probably hit 200 in this season, I think.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
Most definitely.
so I should do an episode count.
Yeah.
Because with the season count, it's not easy to quickly do it. All right, well, folks, again, we're rambling.
Bye, everybody.
We'll see you next time. And take care. Bye. You're smart and good.
Bye. It's good.
Staring out in space, looking for an angel smile and praying for some faith. Thoughts are drifting through my mind and filling it with fear. Is there something else out there, and just why are we here? Then I see the world will turn and we must be its guide. Dreams and nonsense schemes, dawn comes, we must reply. Powers from our mother earth, they'll blow us to our knees. While our souls do bind as one, come join us if you please, if you please. Reading moments one by one and smirking like a thief. Sleeping through another night. Genesis and matter's wake is coming from our sun. Living in this very moment, for this moment's done. But now I see the dawn will come and we are all its guide. Crazy dreams and nonsense schemes, the Godhead in the skies. Powers from our mother earth, it's all we'll ever be. All our souls do bind as one, come join us if you please, if you please. Eyes we worship at our shrine. Bursting flowers into bloom, there's no such thing as time. from our Mother Earth will blow us to our knees. Twisting, turning, minds are burning. Join us if you please. And now I see that I am just beginning its demise. Flashing bits of comic light that vanish from the skies. Powers from our Mother Earth is all we'll ever be. All our souls to bind as one. Come join us if you please. If you please. If you please. If you please.
There he is. It's that man standing over Blood Alley Square, protecting us all. Go get him, that man.